Yo, what's good YouTube? It's Boardzy, and this is going to be probably the most shocking video I have ever made because it's not just a normal mouse review. I'm going to be talking about a mouse, the Pulsar X2 Boardzy edition. So it is a mouse that I made. I'm not going to sit here saying I built this mouse from the ground up like the late great Rocket Jump Ninja, but there are some changes to this mouse. There is a unique twist to it. Some nice improvements, and yeah, it's just the Boardzy edition, so very dope. First things first, it is a limited edition. There are going to be 3,000 units, 1,500 minis, 1,500 mediums, and it has a zebra design. A lot of people don't understand the backstory behind that, so I will cover that later on. It does pay homage to Zebra Gang, little seal of approval logo on the bottom, and it is numbered, so there is that extra epic exclusivity that you get by purchasing this mouse. And it's going to be the same $95 price point and will launch in a week from the time of recording, March 17th. So everything's looking absolutely beautiful for the launch. I didn't like to build this mouse from the ground up in terms of the shell and weight. That stuff is the same sensor as well, 3395, no 4K hertz compatibility. But what is changed on this mouse is the switches. And that's probably been the most notorious issue with the Pulsar X2 is just the click quality, not the switches necessarily. I did hear some reports of people getting double clicking with Kill 8.0, so I'm happy to announce that for the Boardzy edition, and I think the other creator edition, Random Frank P edition, these are going to be using Huano Blue Shell Pink Dot switches. Do a sound test comparison to the standard Kill 8.0s. Huano Blue Shell Pink Dots are some of the best micro switches for a mouse, in my opinion. Obviously, Zowie has been using them forever. Lamzu has been using them recently, the upcoming Lethal Gaming Gear LA1. And just slowly, a lot of companies are starting to implement Huano switches, and these were just the best option that I felt in the X2 shell. Pulsar sent me out units that had TTC Gold switches, Huano switches, different Kale switches, and I just settled on the Huano Blue Shell Pink Dots because I figured that they were really the best of both worlds. The TTC Gold implementation in this shell, it just felt a bit too heavy and sharp. It wasn't great for spammability, and it wasn't really light to activate. But the Blue Shell Pink Dots, as you just heard, they have like a deep, rich, like pretty sharp feeling. I'm sure a lot of people are going to ask why I didn't go for optical switches, and the honest answer is I just didn't even know it was an option at the time. But compared to the Bruce Lee edition, these are definitely on the mushier side. They are a very light click though, but they're not going to be very sharp just due to the fact that they're optical. So in terms of pure click feeling, I would say that these are better. The quality on my unit is incredible as well. I'm sure people are going to say it is a cherry-picked unit, but I have received a few now, only in the medium size though, for whatever reason, and they were all really good in terms of quality. The grind is not noticeable or an issue, but it is apparent on the right mouse button. But yeah, I would say these are closest to a Zowie mouse, but they are going to feel slightly heavier and like they have a bit more travel distance just due to the way that the X2 shell is set up. And yeah, that's a lot of rambling about the switches, but it was just a big thing because the X2 was so heavily scrutinized for clicks. I wanted to see if I could manage to fix that in some type of way. This mouse was originally supposed to launch in December, but it actually got delayed because they were reworking the mold for the mouse. So people who are going to ask if there will be QC issues, I mean, I'm not on the fucking assembly line looking at every product being produced, but I am being told that it is an updated mold, so there's not going to be any of the click squeaking, and there just really shouldn't be any massive issues. I have not experienced them, and I have been putting a lot of time on this mouse recently. The side buttons have felt really good on all of Pulsar's recent mice as well. Another thing that was updated is actually the scroll wheel encoder is upgraded to a TTC Gold dustproof encoder as opposed to the non-dustproof one. What you can notice though is just a slightly heavier feeling. It's not as light of a scroll wheel. The scroll wheel click seems to take the same amount of force though, so it is really just going to be a slightly heavier scroll, which is not something that I notice in game, but it's just definitely a change worth noting if you've used the X2 in the past. Next thing I'm going to talk about is the coating and subsequently the weight, because this mouse is actually a few grams heavier than the standard like just non-coated versions. The Bruce Lee edition is the same as well, so for the medium it is going to come in at around 59 grams, so that is the price you have to pay for a good coating. But yeah, for that price of 3 grams you get a pretty sick coating. I would say this is definitely going to best compare to like Zowie, GPX Superlight, Endgame Gear coatings, because it is in that premium range. I already did talk about it in my Bruce Lee edition review, and it is the same coating. but it's just going to be a dry and grippy coating. It is also somewhat rubbery, but it just does not have the same like wet feeling. I've had no issues with this mouse getting slippery. I've not had any issues with sweat on it. It's a very good coating, not really a fingerprint magnet. It's just like these switches, it's a premium upgrade that the standard X2 really does not have. Trying to show differences in the coating on camera is just generally a lost cause, but you can see like there's just not any added grip when I press it down with the old coatings, while with the new one, yeah, I mean, this is just a lost cause, but you can take my word that the coating is vastly improved compared to the standard plastic non-coated versions. And yeah, that's really, I think that's it in terms of the changes. The design is the zebra design, and people were saying it looks like a bad COD camo. It looks gay even. But yeah, Zebra Gang is basically something that a lot of my newer viewers would not understand. Back when wired mice were a thing many moons ago, and people would buy paracords, if you watched my channel, you would just get a zebra cable and use code Boardzy. You know, it was just the thing you did. I went as far as to get a custom paint job done by Nacho Customs on my Ultralight 2, which was my main mouse at the time. I was very bought into the zebra thing. So to see people disrespecting the great animal and the great design of a zebra, it was a bit shocking, appalling even, but yeah, I mean, we're bringing zebra back. It's a wonderful design. It goes with lots of setups. But most importantly, if you get a mouse and use it, you will become a member of Zebra Gang. And like, I just can't imagine anything better than that. If that doesn't sound good, go kick rocks. Why are you even watching the video at this point? Just kidding. Keep watching. Because I am going to be giving away a significant amount of units. Part of the deal, I'm getting 50 of these mice that I am going to give away both at Boardzy Fest, which is going to be an event I am holding in July in Brooklyn, and also online. I'm going to be giving some away, going to be giving some to reviewers. If you're a reviewer and you're like, I wonder if these changes are actually any good, fucking DM me and I'll try to get you a unit. Because these switches, they are premium. They don't come at the expense of being heavy. They're the truth. You can hold me to that because I have tested enough of switches in this shell to come to that conclusion. The blue shell pink dots are lovely. Updated coating's nice, and yeah, it's really all. That's all I have to say compared to a normal X2. Everything like the sensor, the weight, yeah, it is 2 grams heavier, but you are not going to fucking notice that. And yeah, one of the last things to mention is actually going to be what comes in the box. You do get a sticker and you get a card. Some units will be this 1 out of 100 card, the Prism Edition, just the standard card, which I think looks pretty based, but also there are 15 that I personally signed, and if you manage to get one of those, you should like send it to PSA, get it graded like it's a fucking sports card, because that will be worth billions one day, trust me. So yeah, think of the autographs as like a fucking Willy Wonka golden ticket times 5,000 at least. But yeah, I don't really know what else there is to say. I didn't talk too much about this shape in this video. I am on record saying that the X2 Mini, like one of my biggest recommendations for fingertip grip. If you do have smaller hands, it's a good shape for claw grip. I'm interested in seeing Pulsar's upcoming shapes, but really both the Mini and the Medium are safe shapes. I put a lot of time on the Medium in the past few months, and I've come to enjoy it a bit more. Definitely still is a blocky shape, but it's not a mouse that I really have any type of issue performing well with. And yeah, all around, I'm just pretty happy about the launch. Let me know what you guys think of it for sure. Let me know if I am a sellout shill. All of that good stuff. I'm sure you guys see the glass mousepad as well. I presume I'll get some questions about that. It was sent as a one-off, but I mean, I'm not ruling out, you know, making a zebra mousepad in the future to match the mouse, but it is not currently, there are currently no plans to sell it. But yeah, that's all. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Extremely grateful that I am even in a position where I can make a mouse because I review mice. Like, there is a seal of approval logo on the mouse. That is surreal stuff. But yeah, this is going to be available globally. Pulsar, Max Gaming, Lethal Gaming Gear in the US, Osmod shops somewhere in Brazil, maybe even other retailers as well. But yeah, this is going to be Boardzy Mouse going global. But yeah, that's a good way to end it. Peace out.